Hello and welcome to the showcase video for the game I have made these past few weeks called GAVRILO or GAVRILO Princip. The game is historically set in Sarajevo during 1914 when the Sarajevo assassination happened, in which GAVRILO Princip managed to assassinate Archduke Franz Ferdinand, which kinda was a spark for the World War I. So let's talk about the historical part really short, and then I'm gonna show you the components, set up the game, and in the next video we're gonna do a playthrough. So Bosnia was under the Austro-Hungarian monarchy rule, and it was basically split between all the nations, and these members of the society called Young Bosnia were Yugoslavian nationalists. They wanted to remove the monarchy and have a country for their people, actually, because Austro-Hungary just wanted to annex Bosnia, which has all kind of nationalities in it. They were help from Serbia with weapons and intel. So when the Archduke Franz Ferdinand came to visit the Sarajevo, they prepared this assassination. The procession of 6 cars were moving through the main road to Sarajevo, close to Minecka River, and all these young men were set by the road, waiting with bombs and pistols. And as the procession came in, the first in line was Muhammad Mehmed Basic, which failed to act because there was a policeman near him. The same happened with the Vasa Čubrilović. He also failed to act because he was either stressed or kind of afraid. But this guy, Nedeljko Čabrinović, actually managed to take the bomb, take the cap from the bomb, activate it on the telephone pole, and throw it onto the third car in which Archduke was. Now, some account says that driver saw the bomb flying and he speed up, or even the Franz Ferdinand himself also, when seeing the bomb flying toward him, he used a hand just to swat it down. In any case, it fell behind the car and exploded under the fourth car, wounding some people in it. Nedeljko Čabrinović jumped into the Minecka River and took the cyanide he has, with hopes he's gonna die, but first the river was not that deep and the cyanide was expired, so he just burned his throat, so they arrest him really quickly, which also led to arrest to some other people once he started talking in the police station. In any case, as the chaos ensued, the procession speed up all the way to the town hall, and the rest of the conspirators didn't have a chance to act. In the town hall there was actually talk to just cut the visit short, bring in the military, and look for the other conspirators, but the Franz Ferdinand was sure it was a singular event, and he actually wanted to go to hospital and see the wounded from the fourth car. But since there was, as I said, the chaos between his security and Sarajevo security, the driver wasn't informed the correct route they're gonna take. So as they were coming back, the driver took the right in this street here, near the Moritz Schiller delicatessen shop, where the GAVRILO Princip actually was standing. So as the destiny made it, the car, since the driver made a mistake, he tried to go to the reverse. When they start yelling on him, the engine stalled and the car stopped right in front of GAVRILO Princip, which just take his gun and approach really close, climbing on the foothold on the car and just shooting directly into Franz Ferdinand and sadly his wife, as she was close by. He actually wanted to kill Franz Ferdinand and Governor Pocherek. That was his targets when he was shooting. So the assassination was successful. All the other conspirators and assassins were captured, as they in the police station they were tortured and they started talking, and everything led to Serbia and their involvement. So Austro-Hungary wanted for Serbia to give them access to their territory to look for other conspirators, and Serbia almost done everything from them ultimatum, but the last one where basically Austro-Hungarian troops were moving in, and of course that was a perfect excuse for Austro-Hungary to declare war on Serbia. And as the war with Serbia started, other monarchies intervened which were siding with Serbia, and one thing led to another. World War I happened. So that's the historical part. So now let's talk about the game. As for the components, we have one big board here, which is split into this section of Sarajevo, where this main road is and where this procession of cards gonna move. And we have one big deck of cards, which is split on the cards which I call Young Bosnia cards and these event cards. Event cards are further split onto 3 acts, and these Young Bosnia cards have these characters you as a player gonna control, and these helping cards that gonna track who is arrested, how your assassination attempt was, and some modifiers to the roll for the actual assassination attempt. Then we also have some tokens. We have this Royal Motor Pool token. We have all the tokens that corresponds to the cards in the Royal Motor Pool. There are some of these fatalism tokens, which I'm gonna talk about them later, and the tokens that corresponds to each of the assassin. You will also need regular D6 dice, one for rolling for the assassination attempt, the other ones to track the number of bystanders in these sectors, and you will need some cubes to track the number of policemen in each sector and how many actions you have each turn. So let's set up the game. It's quite quick. There are 2 ways you can play the game. It's historical and random. Now if you're doing random setup, I'm gonna talk about the random setup after I do the historical action. So historical setup is quite simple. You're gonna take each of these tokens, they are numbered, and gonna place them in the corresponding placeholders with the same number. These tokens are double-sided, so red side is active, gray side is inactive. All the conspirators start inactive, so you place them on their spaces where they were historically present, close to the road, and you set each. They have 2 scales on the card. You set each stress of those conspirators to 2, while their suspicion are on the starting position, so they are all kind of already stressed. There is a 7th person, but he's right now out of the game. He might get into the game later, but his stress and suspicion always starts like this. Then you're gonna take these D6 dice, and if you're playing an easy game, you're gonna put it on 1, but I'm playing a normal game, so it's gonna start on 2. Hard game starts randomly, so you're gonna actually roll each dice, so it could be any number from 1 to 6. So I'm putting each of these on 2. And easy, normal or hard game, you always start with 1 policeman in these sectors, like that. Then the next thing we need to do is prepare these event decks. Now you only need to prepare Act 1 and Act 2. Act 3 is gonna come into play later on, maybe or not, depending how you do. And I maybe forgot to tell, but your objective is to kill the Archduke, and if you perform that, you immediately win the game. So if that happens before Act 3, you will not use this deck at all. So I'm gonna set it aside from now. So first we need to prepare Act 1 deck. it's consistent of these 10 cards called bystanders from Sarajevo, and you're gonna do this by shuffling it, taking 4 cards from it, and then you're gonna roll a d6 dice and you're gonna take that much cards from the deck, so 3 more. The rest of the cards are removed from the game, so I'm gonna set that here, and that's your Act 1 deck. Royal Motor Pool starts out of the board, as they didn't even came to Sarajevo yet, they still in the train. And now you're gonna prepare the Act 2 deck, which uses all the cards, so you're just gonna shuffle them. And then there is this card called Driving Toward Destiny. You always start with this card on top of your Act 2 deck. And that's basically that's the whole setup you need to do. Also, this little token that represents the speed of the motor pool starts with the unmoving right now because they are not moving, and you are ready to go. So in the next video I'm gonna do a playthrough and explain everything as I play, and then you can decide is it game worth it your attention, and maybe when I post the print and play files, maybe you want to make it and play it yourself. So thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.